Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Kessler, and I've been practicing natural health care for about 27 years, and I use a lot of informational bioenergetic medicine in my practice. And I'm always curious what those particular devices do. I mean, patients don't always feel them, and there's a lot of claims that they do lots of wonderful things. So one of the devices that I'm looking at today is something called MiHealth, okay, from NES. And what I did is I took a patient today who is suffering from acute stress. I mean, really is under a very, very stressful situation right now and hasn't been able to sleep in days. So I use one of the programs from the MiHealth. The program that I use is one of the emotional stress protocols. Actually, for us, it's called it's for acute stress, and it uses, for those who use this machine, it's using the matrix carrier for about 5 minutes off the body, along the spine. I used acute balance, I use nerve, I use emotional energy, I use energy align, inner peace, and ESR, which is emotional stress release. So let's take a look on the screen. I did something called heart rate variability, which is a very well accepted type of therapy, type of evaluation. I use this evaluation before and after lots of these type of devices, specifically at this point, again, we're using it on the MiHealth to show changes. And I was pretty amazed, and let's take a look at what we see, okay? So let's go. I did this patient just about an hour ago, and let me show you before and after. Okay, so this person came in, and you can kind of look at the scores below here. You got 14% cardiovascular adaptation. I'm not going to go into too much depth right now about what those things are. Autonomic nervous system regulation is the percent of how well his nervous system is able to adapt to stress. His neural hormonal regulation, and a psycho-emotional state. So you can see that most of these scores are pretty low. So we went ahead, did this acute stress program on with the MiHealth, and it brought the scores up considerably. I mean, as you can see, all the scores went up. Of course, they're not going to go up all the way, but it's very significant. If we look at the two different tests here, when we see the stress index, and we see 277, and the normal range is between 10 and 100, this means that for this particular person to achieve balance, his nervous system is working too hard. It's working too hard to maintain balance in his physiology. And when we see this big red here, this, as you can see, is called the secondary neurohormonal backup system. It's a backup system when the normal autonomic nervous system that regulates all body functions, which is this yellow and green, sympathetic, fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, that's the opposite of that calms things down. It's shot. It's not doing its thing. It needs help. It's calling in this secondary backup system, which is a much slower system to regulate the body. It's not as efficient. And you can see it's quite red. That's what's happening here. And when we did this simple therapy with the MiHealth, it brought the scores down, 277 to 238. So it's improved it. It brought this red down a little bit more. Actually, before it was 75%. Now it's 52%. We want to bring this down. We want to start to get the body to function a little bit better. We can see actually a balance here. This is the autonomic nervous system balance index. How balanced is your nervous system, your autonomic nervous system? And he's 399, way out of range. And it's still not in range, but it's improved. It immediately improved that. And you can see this little line here. This means that it's moved, that where it says central nervous system, this is not where we want this little black line. We want this black line to be right in the middle where it says central index of centralization. Right in the center, it means the nervous system is in a more balanced place. And again, this is because he's working from the secondary backup system, this snail mail, as opposed to this fast-speed internet nervous system here. And here it's brought it a little further over towards the center, so it is showing that it's pushing it more into a balanced state. His vital energy, which ranges from between 50 to 500, that's the normal range. It's very low. There's no vitality. This poor guy, he's been under some domestic situation where he hasn't slept in days. He's very emotionally distraught. It's 16, no energy. At least it shot up a little more vitality into the system just by doing one simple, series on him with the MiHealth. I thought that was pretty amazing. If we go further down and look a little bit more, this is measuring all the connections with the pituitary, hypothalamic axis, thyroid, adrenal hormones, melatonin, all the different connections and how they work together in a synchrony in a nice balanced way. And it's just, there's no energy, there's nothing there. This is really a bad reading. You could kind of look, here's an example of the different readings. He's down in here, disturbed neurohormonal regulation, and it improved it. It brought it back into, at least into a normal range. There's a little bit more regulation in the neurohormonal system, and this is measuring the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, actually anabolic and catabolic states, about rebuilding and healing. This is where that takes place, and this is where we spend building energy and spending that energy. It's the number for us, 64, should be between 150 to 600, very low. At least it brought it up a little bit. It's still not in range, but it's actually starting to create some changes in there. The other area that I look at is the brain. And you can even look on this. This is kind of a hierarchy of the brain. And this first one, he's down in here in a state of moderate stress. This is the worst. This is the best over here on this blue one. So it shifted him into a better state. You can see that the number is 50 to 500 to 100, and here he's 27, and here it brought it back. At least it's closer to range. It's creating a better state of arousal through all these different, these are the different states of arousal, electrical activity of the brain, delta, theta, alpha. Well, if you look here, it changed some things. It started to bring up more alpha waves. It started to bring up a little more theta waves. It was kind of a little more flatlined in here. It's starting to create some balance into the brain activity here. So that was pretty amazing as well. Everything here improved using the MiHealth. We also look at the age. This measures his actual age, which is 59, and here he's like 62. After doing the emotional stress protocols from the MiHealth, it kind of jumped from 59 to 55. So it dropped the age back down. So there's a lot of really, really great improvements taking place here. I'm not going to go through everything here. I think we should probably look at maybe the meridians a little bit. And when you look at the meridians, you can just look at this. This should be filled in all the way. There's gaps where it's showing here's the liver. It's showing a gap here in the small intestine, and you can see all these gaps here, right? The heart meridian, all these areas. But if you look at the total energy in each meridian, this is the total energy. It brought up pretty much all these. Look at the lung, 36. Now it's 67. Large intestine went from 44 to 52. Stomach went from 18 to 53. He's been having a lot of digestive problems because of this emotional stress and what's going on, probably from the nervous system connection there. But everything here is improving, and we find that's pretty amazing. Just doing a simple MiHealth treatment. So we're going to continue doing more research. I'm going to use this on different types of conditions. We'll try, we'll do MiHealth treatments, and then we'll go ahead and do more HeartQuest treatments after. Actually, not treatments, but evaluations to see what things have improved, and this is pretty amazing for us, and we'll show you more. We'll keep doing this, and you guys, you have a great day. Bye-bye.